IBAC is Victoria's anti-corruption body responsible for preventing and exposing public sector corruption and police misconduct. The following is a summary of IBAC's investigation, Operation Lansdowne. In December 2015, IBAC commenced Operation Lansdowne. Initially, the investigation focused on allegations of serious corrupt conduct relating to Southwest Institute of TAFE and a third-party agreement it had entered into with TayTell Pty Ltd, the owner and director of whom was Rebecca Taylor. In February 2016, the investigation expanded to include Bendigo Kangan Institute of TAFE, as IBAC identified credible information that TayTell may have dishonestly obtained government funding to deliver training on behalf of that institute. In May 2016, the scope of IBAC's investigation further expanded to include the circumstances surrounding the recruitment of particular employees and the engagement of certain contractors, including Ms. Taylor, by V-Line. IBAC found that TayTell owner and director, Ms. Rebecca Taylor, operated a scheme through which she received more than $2 million of government funding under subcontracting arrangements with the two TAFEs for training that did not take place. Ms. Taylor and members of her family and friends facilitated this conduct by falsifying enrolment forms and assessment workbooks in a process they described at the time as a sausage factory. IBAC identified weaknesses in the systems and controls of Southwest Institute of TAFE and Bendigo Kangan Institute of TAFE, which allowed the scheme to flourish. The key weakness was a failure by both TAFEs to conduct any meaningful oversight of the training which was meant to be delivered on their behalf. IBAC also found a former executive manager at Southwest Institute of TAFE misused his position to award or interfere in the awarding of a Certificate 4 in Training and Assessment and a Certificate 4 in Engineering to Ms. Taylor when she was not qualified. In regards to V-Line, the investigation identified that between 2013 and 2016, there was a clique of senior V-Line officers who placed undue emphasis on who people knew and personal friendships, willfully disregarding the required public sector merit-based procurement and recruitment standards. IBAC identified an environment at V-Line where clear conflicts of interest were not declared or managed, allowing a culture of cronyism to flourish. Red flags, including blatant contract splitting, a lack of documentation to justify procurement, such as business cases, insufficient segregation of duties, and inadequate contract documentation, were not acted upon. IBAC recommended the responsible agencies address the identified vulnerabilities. Recommendations include the Department of Education and Training to review TAFE training delivered via other third-party agreements to verify the legitimacy of that training, the Department of Premier and Cabinet, in conjunction with the Victorian Public Sector Commission, to review ways in which probity in public sector recruitment can be strengthened. Southwest TAFE, Bendigo Kangan Institute of TAFE, V-Line and the Department of Education and Training are required to report to IBAC on the implementation of these and other recommendations by 31 December 2018. IBAC will also consider whether it is appropriate to compile briefs of evidence for the consideration of the Office of Public Prosecutions. To download a copy of the report, visit www.ibac.vic.gov.au or click on the link in the description below. Also, subscribe to IBAC Insights on the website to get latest news and events, heads up on new reports, expert commentary, early research findings, information on conferences and events.